Okay, hello there. So here we are, another day, another Smallville digital chapter review, and we're on to chapter 10, people. Okay, this is it, the last leg, as it were, of the first episode of season 11 of Smallville Guardian. It's starting to pick up pace now. Okay, we're last three chapters, chapter 10, 11 and 12 are next week and the week after. Excellent. Honestly, I really did enjoy this chapter as well. Again, a lot of action, and Superman's been going around putting out fires around Metropolis, and I think this pretty much goes on from right after the incident that he had with General Sam Lane and the helicopters, having to save Lois from the crossfire that was happening, and we then see General Lane and his group of men meeting up with, Superman meeting up with them to explain, why they were doing what they were doing. They all start pointing their guns to him, and General Lane's like, whoa, fellas, it's not really going to do anything if we shoot him, so lower your weapons, this, that, and the other. And let me just say right now, this is awesome, right? Being the alien that he is, you couldn't have asked for a better welcome than, where he says, "I come in peace, General." Okay, it's like, really? So yeah, awesome, is it not? Brilliant. But it's pretty much discussed with General Lane about him putting Lois in harm's way, and he, Sam is like, you do have a habit of looking out for her, don't you? And he's, Superman's like, I do the best that I can to help people as best as possible, and he pretty much comes out to tell General Lane that he was not responsible for the Russian space station or the Guardian platform shuttle itself. It was all based on Luthor, and as you can imagine, a man in General Sam Lane's position looks at a guy like Superman, who was able to push a planet out of Earth's orbit with his own bare hands. Kind of, it's going to raise concerns. It's going to make people think, can we really trust this guy? How powerful he is to be able to do something like that? So that's where the doubt comes in, and then Superman gets interrupted. He's get called in by Dr. Emil Hamilton, because obviously, if you remember from the end of chapter 9, Commander Henshaw has now been subconsciously revived into one of the drones that Star Labs have built, but obviously he's out of control. He's ready to kill Lex Luthor. He's not happy that Luthor is, giving him this new body. He should have killed him, kind of thing. Should have let him die, all that sort of stuff. And then in the end, Henshaw's wife is blaming Superman for not, saving him quick enough. But Hank has a bit of a, he has an afterthought where he says, well, he tried his best. Superman went as fast as he could, and even Lex joins in and sides with Hank's wife, as if to say, well, actually, yeah, we should blame Superman. He should have been quicker. But Hank knows that Lex was the one responsible for the shuttle exploding, yet he still has been, given the notion that Superman wasn't quick enough to save him. And now when he gets a vision of the S symbol, that's pretty much what sticks in his mind, and he pretty much goes after Superman in that retrospect. And again, this all sort of harkens back to the whole reign of Superman. After the death of Superman, while Superman was still in his Kryptonian birthing matrix back in the Fortress, you had 4 people come and take his place: Cyborg, Superman, the Eradicator, Superboy, and Steel. So Cyborg Superman was clearly Hank Henshaw. Now, what I love about this issue, as I'm reading on, Superman eventually confronts Hank Henshaw, and the drone's outer exoskeleton shell that he's in, he's able to actually change it, because if you look here, see, that's how it currently looks like there. Okay, so as you can see, it's fairly simple, But then after him and Superman have a bit of an altercation, as you can see, like I said there, as soon as he sees the S symbol, he goes completely nuts. Okay, and you can tell when he's going angry because now he goes red. When he's okay, he's blue. Okay, his face changes red. So, you know, he goes after Superman, and Superman pretty much is able, you know, he dismantles him to pieces. But Hank being Hank, and because we know what he's actually like, for those of us who remember all the 90s comics from the reign of Superman, he's able to put himself back together. And he not, as I say, he not only puts himself back together, but he redesigns the suit, as it were. And you just have to look at the outline there. I don't know if you can see it properly. You probably can't, but I'll show you in another page. Here we go. As you can see there, he's now formed the little triangle sort of thing, like the symbol for where the S would go, and that pretty much says it all, basically. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Again, great action. Love this chapter. I hope the last two chapters of Guardian are going to be just as spectacular as well. I can't wait, basically. And then obviously after this ends, after Guardian ends, we then move on to Detective, which brings on the introduction of Batman. Now, speaking of Batman, quickly, I've just got to quickly mention this. Rumour has now had it, okay, and yet it's still not confirmed or denied, that the Nightwing that we saw with Batman on the cover of the future issues of Smallville isn't Stephanie Brown. In fact, it's been touted that it's actually Barbara Gordon. So this has obviously caused a bit of an uproar, as you can imagine, not just among Smallville fans, but among the DC Universe fans themselves, especially fans of Stephanie Brown. And then, you know, even at Comic-Con, someone has actually got up to ask, can you confirm or deny the rumour that Stephanie Brown is no longer going to be in Smallville? In fact, it is Barbara Gordon. Now, the people who were present at yesterday's DC Comics panel, for the Superman panel, by the way, Brian Miller was supposed to be there, but he was then not there, basically. He had already announced earlier this week that he wasn't going to be present at said panel. But when this person asked the question, it was answered that the people from DC Digital are not here, or we can't really confirm that rumour. It's like, well, you're all in the same company. Do you guys not talk to each other? So it's all up in the air. We don't know if Nightwing is Stephanie Brown. It could be Barbara Gordon. When will we find out? Who knows? But it's a shame. If it is Barbara Gordon, it'll be an absolute shame. DC have missed their point. Pretty much missed it. And I think the other thing that's kind of confirmed that it could be Barbara Gordon is that Scott Snyder, who writes Batman, has been wanting to say, you know, he says that he would love to write Batgirl at one point, but obviously both Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown have been Batgirl. At the moment, there's still no word yet as to whether Cassandra Cain will come back to DC, to the New 52, but Scott has said he would like to actually write Stephanie Brown. So again, have DC turned around and said, right, Brian, you're going to have to change Stephanie Brown to Barbara Gordon, because we've been asked that someone wants to actually write Barbara Gordon for a future like comic or something, and he's probably turned around and thought, oh, right, okay then, right, and that's probably why you don't want me at the Superman panel at Comic-Con. But hey, what do I know? Anyway, I'm sure eventually news will come out. I think it was Scott Snyder, because he's been writing Batman, which has been awesome, by the way. So it might be Scott Snyder. I don't think it was Scott Lobdell, who's been writing Superboy, who's then going to write Superman later on this year. So I think it was Scott Snyder. But like I say, it's all up in the air. Who knows what's going to happen? We'll see. Okay, anyway, hope you have a lovely weekend, and I shall speak to you all soon. Bye.